All right, so for weeks 8 and 9, you're going to be doing one project, but it's going to be 2 assignments. It's going to be week 8 and week 9, but it's going to be the same project. So this is going to be the first time where you have a prompt, you like generate ideas, you design a piece, and then you take that design and you actually create it with Clay. So this is the first time that we're trying it. The school calendar is not the same as it has been. We have a couple of early release days. So our due dates are not going to be what they were. The due dates are going to be a little different. So I'm going to share the screen. All right, so this is the project brief. You can find it on class site. There it is, bam, right there. This is the project brief for weeks 8 and 9. You will be creating a gestural animal sculpture. So the gesture means that there's this animal and it's going to be posed or like has some sort of gesture that communicates something about you. So you're going to be working on the Studio Habit of Mind Express. It's expressing something with its gesture. So we're exploring how these gestures and poses can convey personality through the technique of sculpture. You will sculpt this animal in the round. You can see it says right there. So it means that it's a freestanding 3D sculpture. It's not like the carvings you see above a doorway on a Greek or Roman building. It is a freestanding sculpture that is seen all the way around. So like each point is different. You get all the perspectives of the sculpture. Capito? Okay. So how are you going to do this? It's broken down into a couple pieces, and those pieces are then separated into different weeks. So for week 8, you're going to be doing the design process, and that's numbers 1 and 2 on this project brief. So you're going to brainstorm different character traits about yourself, and you're going to generate a list of at least 3 of these traits or adjectives that describe you. You can generate more. You can have way more if you want, but you need to have at least 3. So there is a link here, and if you click on that link, you get 638 primary personality traits. They are broken up into categories of positive, neutral, and negative. Please don't pay any attention to positive, neutral, or negative. That's not, like, whatever. But there's a whole list of them. So they're saying that whimsical is neutral. Okay, fine. Whimsical could be positive. They're also saying that if you come all the way down here, they're saying zany, wishful, and willful are negative. Maybe those are positive. So who are they to say what's positive or negative about my personality trait? Okay, so you just back off. Website. Anyway, you don't have to use it, but you can. They're there for you to use. Generate that list. Each week has its own document. So for the week 8 document, you can see that there's a very clear due date. This is due on Tuesday. So we're doing the design that's due on Tuesday, so we have more time to actually make the work. On this, you have the place for those adjectives right there. If you want to add some and you add more, by all means, go ahead. After you do that, that's going to be helpful to determine what you want to convey with the sculpture. What's the gesture? What's the pose? Is it like, is it active, sporty? Is that one of these? Is it curious? Is it kind of like slow and observant? Is it just like, oh, why? Just, I can't believe. Is it incredulous and you're just like, I can't believe this? Are you ashamed? Are you bashful? Each one of these animals has a different pose. You can convey something with it. You could do an animal, you could do a mammal, you could do a bird, you could do a fish, you could do a reptile, you could do an amphibian, you could do a marsupial. Whatever you want, you can do that. That's up to you. At the bottom, there are, thank you, sir. At the bottom, there are studio habits of mind that we're working on. Envision, that's sort of the design. You're envisioning what this is going to look like. There's express, the trait that you want to convey, that's expressed. And there's developing the craft. You're learning how to do all of these things. So those are the studio habits of mind, and each week has its own rubric. It's rubric checklist for the grade. Week 8 is right there. Week 9 is right there. So it's all in this one doc. So where do we get? So we got to those things. The next step after you do the generated list of personality traits is you're going to gather some reference images. All of these images here would count as a reference image. So you can see what the shape of the face is, what the ears look like, what the form of the animal looks like, how big are the ears in relationship to the nose. And when you get these, you're going to get 4 of them in hopes that you can have different views of the same animal. So if you have a bear and you get the shape of the face right from this angle straight on, that's great. But how far out does the bear's face come? You're going to need a side view to see how far that nose protrudes from the bear's face. So get them from different angles. Once you get that, you're going to have, so you have the traits, the images, and then you're going to design, you're going to kind of take those two, combine them in your sketches. You're going to do orthographic and isometric sketches to have sort of the plan of how to make the piece. So for week 8, your 4 pieces, your 4 reference images, 4 or more, go in these boxes, and then your sketches go here. So you're going to have, as an example, you might have images like this. So I was thinking if I was doing it, maybe I would describe myself as quiet, watchful, kind of like thinking of like as a teacher or mentor, somewhat the way that Bagheera is a teacher and a mentor to Mowgli. So I was thinking about this and kind of, calm, watchful, observant, just kind of watching what happens and will intervene if needed. So this is kind of the pose that I'm thinking of a design for. So I have a photograph of an actual panther just as that, so I can see what the animal looks like. How does the back leg work? How big is the arch in the back? What do the front paws do? How does the tail fall? And the face. I might want a little more detail of the face so I can see exactly, get a little more detail of the eyes and the nose, what happens with whiskers, how big are the ears. I also got this one of an actual sculpture to see what that person did, how that person treated the muscles underneath the fur, the texture. Again, what does that leg look like? How far does it stick out? Where's the shoulder go? How big are the paws? There's a photograph there. There's a sculpture here. So really thinking about how can I understand this creature, this animal in its fullest form. So you can take those images and your idea of the personality trait. What would that trait look like if you were to pose in that trait? So if you're feeling like strong and willful, you might have like chest out, arms kind of out, that type of pose. How can you convey that through an animal? Also, in terms of animals, you could do a mythological creature if you want. You could do a hydra, you could do a chimera, you could do a griffin, you could do a dragon. That's up to you. Your choice, your animal, so long as it has a gesture, a pose that connects with the personality trait. So that design goes here. These are the studio habits of mind, and there's your rubric for the grade. There is also a playlist on the YouTube channel of how to make a sculpture, so you can start looking at that as you think about what it's going to look like. So that's week 8. I'll do another one for week 9, and we'll start with week 8 with the design, and then we're going to make it a week from now. So there it is. Good luck. For the size, it should be smaller than a basketball and like maybe bigger than an orange, maybe like the size of a grapefruit. This is pretty big. Don't make it this big. I'm thinking it's gonna be more like that. Maybe more like mason jar size or like double-handed pot size kind of thing. But it's also not gonna be this small. It's okay. It didn't break. Tiny pot. Not gonna be this small, a little bigger than that. It's gonna be good for the detail. All right, see you soon.